All right. Welcome to the Powerlifting podcast. My name's Theo, and this is my co-host Eric.
Yes.
And today we'll be talking about meet day execution. This is probably a pretty important topic, considering like going 9 for 9 is pretty hard, I would say, for a lot of people.
The term execute is very up for interpretation.
Right. So I guess for you, what does meet day execution encompass?
It encompasses being able to hit your lift and not miss it. I'd say that's about as basic of a definition as you can give it, because sometimes things are very heavy. Like maybe it's just too heavy, too much of a reach, and the athlete just flat out fails it. And that's more of a attempt selection call rather than an execution call, but there's also maybe they go for a conservative third bench and then they fail it, like I did at regionals. And that's an execution thing where it's like, hey, you shouldn't have gotten that.
I agree. I think for most lifters, executing and going 9 for 9, getting 27 white lights is probably the number one thing you should be doing on a meet.
Yeah, and there's a lot of athletes who, it's like, I think the longer you powerlift, the more you care about this stuff. Because it's, hey, if I miss too many attempts, I'm not going to get a PR total. And but a lot of the people who are newer to powerlifting, whether they're younger or older, if they're doing their third meet or first, second, third, it's kind of implied they're going to PR their total, or it's like a lot of the times it's just going to happen.
Yeah, right. And so we have a note here. I think this is important because this probably happened for both of us, where maybe we got hurt or something, but you can have a bad prep and still go 9 for 9 as long as you just do things smart, choose the right attempts.
Yeah, Petrie was the one who said that. He put it on a story one day.
Right.
And I was like, wow, that's really true. So a lot of preps sort of, like however the prep will go is kind of how the meet will go. And if the prep is chaotic, the meet will probably be chaotic as well. Or if the prep was pretty good, then the meet will probably be pretty good.
Yeah, right, exactly. And in combination of like how well your prep's going, or, you know, this has to be combined with just being smart on meet day.
Yeah, that ties in too.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things is like attempt selection, like you said. Like, I think some people will go into their training, they'll have maybe their last heavy session a block before, or maybe even the same block as the meet, and it's just gonna fly, right? And like they think their third on meet day is gonna be like 30 pounds over their 1 rep max. Which it might actually, right? It could be there.
A lot of the times that's a really big ask.
Yeah, right.
A lot of the times hitting anything more than what you hit in the gym is a big ask too.
Yeah.
And doing that on all 3 lifts is a big ask. Doing it on 1 lift, not too much of an ask.
Yeah, especially like if you're reaching a different weight barrier, I would say. Like let's say someone's breaking, like for you, like breaking past 600 on dead is probably way different than pulling like 595, 606 in training.
There was this one guy I was handling at high school nats way back when, and his max squat in the gym was like 490, but his prep was going really well, and the range was 501 to 507 on meet day. And we do the second, and it looks really good, and I'm like, hey, let's go 501. And he's like, why not 507? And I'm like, trust me, bro, let me explain it later.
Yeah.
For now, we're going 501. Let's go 501. And then we go 501, and he does it, or maybe his max was like 485 at the time. It was 485 or 490. And he goes for the 501, and then there's some crazy shift that happens, and he almost gets folded over, but he gets it, and he's good. But it was very much like, yeah, thank God we didn't go for 507. And he's like, okay, explain to me why we didn't go for 507 now. And I'm like, dude, when things get heavier, sometimes weird stuff just happens. And that weird thing that never happened in prep just happened today.
Yep.
And plus, the 501 is like big number or a big milestone number. So I'm like, hey, you've never hit 501. Like, we should really just hit 501. Plus, it's good meet PR, all that. It's not worth the risk for an extra 2.5.
Checks all the right boxes.
Yeah, I checked a lot of boxes.
This is something that I took from my coach, Marcellus, and obviously you have planned attempts, right? But if you have a reach attempt, he still recommends you only do like 5-10 pounds under what you theoretically think you can do.
There's just like a bunch of stuff that can happen. Whether it feels like the most random thing in the world or whether it's the judging on the day, it's a lot more variables. And you're on their time too. You're not really on your rest time. Maybe the warm-ups were weird. There's so much stuff going on.
Agreed. And I know this is obvious, but I do think it needs to be mentioned because I do see a lot of athletes get married to these numbers in prep, and it comes down to like recomping too. I see a lot of athletes, they'll be training a little bit above their weight class, and usually they'll be fine, on meet day hitting the PRs they want. But sometimes if they're doing like more than 5% of their body weight on a cut, and they still expect to hit the same numbers, that's where like I think the expectations
is a whole skill. Did you hear about the Jordan McKinley cut for Worlds?
I did not.
Dude, he was 100 kilos, 72 hours out, and he weighed in at 93. And then he got back up to 99, and he won.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah.
I didn't even know you could. Yeah, I'm just so shocked by that. I didn't even know. Because it was like 7%. Yeah, and I didn't know you could do that much.
7% is crazy. I was like, even like thinking about Russ when he's like training back when he was in 80, like he would account for all that strength loss that he'd be taking.
Russ would always have a drop off from his training numbers in the gym and on meet day, but it was very predictable. And it's like, hey, I know there's going to be a drop off on meet day, but I also know that this is what the competition looks like, and I need to still push it enough, but I need to not miss.
Yeah, right. And especially since he was in a position where he was ahead of the comp, that whatever you're counting
that too.
for.
It was also just like, he's just stronger than everyone. There can be minus 30 pounds on the total or whatever it was, and he'll still have a day.
But I do still think a lot of athletes can take away from this anyway. Like if your goal is to maybe make top 5, top 10 at nationals or whatever, like just doing things smart like this is way more important, just to even like get into that zone, because you'll be going against people who will not be thinking this way, and they'll be reaching for numbers, and I'll pull them out of the top 10 or whatever. So anything else you wanted to go over before we go into like each lift?
So it's very rare on meet day that someone's tech magically changes for the better or for the worst. Usually it's just like how it's going to be, how it's been in training. So if there's issues popping up in training, it's probably going to be like that on meet day as well. Maybe sometimes the taper hits and then things click just because we're able to get in a good position because less fatigued, fitness is high, yada, yada, yada. But most of the time, it's going to be the same tech. So it's really hard to fix it in the moment. Like it's really hard to fix it on game day.
Agreed. And something else that I noticed too is a lot of execution problems start occurring if someone just starts getting really nervous. Like you might not really have these problems in training.
That's a thing too. I've seen some people just get a little nervous and then they do dumb stuff.
But
that stuff is like, at least they were good in training. So it's a lot easier to fix.
Yeah, right. So if it was happening in training, it's definitely way harder to fix on the meet day. But I think if you're just getting nervous and it's a consistent problem, I think honestly adjusting your expectations for your thirds is probably a good idea.
If there's execution issues popping up, adjusting expectations just makes it so much more likely. Even adjusting expectations in the moment when there's no execution problems, but things are like 5% slower than you want them to be, that rarely happens too. And a quick side note with execution is that it's a lot easier to fix whatever issues pop up when things are a little more conservative. Things only get harder with heavier weight.
Yeah, and we just talked about that too, where you talked about going with 501 instead of 507. Like they would have had, they would have had no idea.
No, they would have 100% gotten. It was just like, it wasn't even folding over. It was just such an awkward shift that happened. They would have got destroyed with 507.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then they got 501, and it's like, hey, that's really good meet PR. Hey, that's really good PR in general. Hey, first time hitting 500. Hey, lots of pros.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's only W's. All right.
Yeah, we'll go through each lift.
Yeah,
and just talk about all of it.
We'll start with the squat. So I feel like the most common mistakes or execution errors someone's going to make is depth, having soft knees, or up and down when things get harder.
Yeah.
I think for that last one, though, to be completely honest, there's probably very little you can do if that happens.
It's super rare something like that will even happen on a first attempt or a second attempt anyway.
Yeah.
It's a third attempt thing, and after third attempt, you can't really fix anything. But it's more of a thing with people whose technique I just feel like isn't as locked in. Yeah, but like you rarely see up and down on a really hard lift from someone in prime time, someone who's like top 10. You just don't see that because their technique is efficient, things are moving really well, and they are taking it seriously 100% throughout the whole lift. It's not like they're halfway locked in and then, oh crap, things are feeling really hard, up and down, let me lock in some more so I don't fail it. It doesn't happen to the top 10 people.
Yeah, I would agree. I think the only time it happens, and we mentioned this before, is if it's going to a number territory that they've maybe not even done before.
Yeah.
Where it's like someone squatting like 771 versus 800. It's like, well, 800 pounds is a lot different than 770, I imagine. I'm not that guy. But so we'll move on to depth issues.
We'll talk about depth.
Yeah.
And real quick too, there's another common mistake, which is just missing commands, but that's literally like, that's for first meet and second meets only. That
I would say that
after that's that's about all we need to talk about. It's super easy to fix. You just hold it. You just let them hold it at the start. You hold it at the rack. Bam.
That just ties in with being nervous.
Yeah.
You can practice that in training, but like if you're just nervous, you'll probably forget, and that's usually why it happens. So
well, we'll talk about the more serious ones. Now, so depth.
All right, so how did you hit depth? I got red lighted. Can't help me out here.
Why don't you just say what you did in the moment? How was that for you? Because I've had the same exact thing happen to me in the past. Like literally,
Right. So for me, I was already very confident in my depth anyway. Like the last 5 years of meets I did, like I never failed squats from depth. It was only like the second meet I did where I failed from depth. So I never felt like I had to make any adjustments in training. So it made it a lot easier doing it on meet day, which was literally just sinking it lower. And for me, I missed depth on my first attempts, but I knew I could get it on my next attempt. So I still went up.
You're experienced enough of a lifter to.
Yeah.
It's worth going up. And then if you miss it on the second,
I'm not going up again. But just had a safe second, which was only like 5 or 7.5 kilos more anyway. So it was still within range of hitting my third.
What was your plan third on the day? Was it 501 or 507?
507.
Okay. Yeah. So you still like chilled a little bit.
Yeah.
Just because it's which after seeing the squat, it was the right call. But it feels like way harder. Right?
Yeah.
It's so much harder because that's how my squat was. And I had another athlete, shout out Charles, who missed his opener, and then he got a second, and he missed the opener on depth. We went up, he got a second, and it was good, but I could tell like it wasn't exactly the second we wanted, and we went a little more conservative. And I told him like, hey, be prepared for this to be really hard.
Yeah.
It's going to be really hard. And it was really hard for him, but he got it, and he executed, and it was awesome.
Yeah, pretty much the same thing where I was like, I always squatted the same way, didn't have problems with it the last few meets. So when I did like 507 in training, it was like, I smoked it. But I was like, okay, I know this one's going to be really hard.
It's a really big reach to miss opener or second and then still go for like the plant third or full send third and squat it deeper.
Yeah.
it's too much to ask for.
For sure. So, like, I feel like the only reason you do that is if you had a really good reason, like you're trying to make podium.
For podium, it's literally
Yeah.
do or die. But it is also, if you miss, you're done for. Yeah. So this is how I see it mentally when I'm handling, is if an athlete misses their opener, they can go up if they've done like 1 or 2 meets, somewhat experienced. Right, if it's their first meet, you just retake.
Yeah.
They can go up, but if you miss your second, you retake it. And if you get your second, you can go 2.5 to 5 kilos lighter than planned on your third, and you should be good. That's kind of the default engineering algorithm.
Yes.
That I use, but I see a lot of people don't use that, and then I see a lot of people get screwed. Yeah, that's literally
what I use.
What happened?
And yeah, because it's like. To me, it's like what's like 5 keys difference on a squat? You know what I mean? Like you can always if you're trying to hit like a total that you have in mind, you can always like remake it in deadlift or something. So it's always not a big deal if you have to go like 2.5 to 5 kilos lighter.
Yeah.
So
it's a lot better than missing.
Yeah, and you know if we think about other sports too, right? Like not everyone's performing at their absolute 100%. In a different sport, so like just treat it like you were doing any other competition, like just adjust for what you see happen on meet day.
But part of execution too is you have to be willing to adjust in the moment, and you have to have a handler competent enough also to tell you, hey, we are not going for this planned third anymore, and they'll tell you in a really nice way, there's no world we have it, but we can still hit these numbers, we can still hit some PRs, we can still have a good meet, but you're going to have to be okay with going 5 to 10 pounds lighter on this attempt.
Yeah, that's really important to know because I think a lot of more beginner athletes get very tunnel visioned on PRing.
Super tunnel vision.
Every single thing, but like PRing the total is the major goal.
It adds up. Yeah.
2.5, 5 kilos lighter is going to get you there.
And then there's some other quote unquote algorithms that you can do. You can, if you miss your opener on depth, you can retake your opener if it wasn't insanely easy, and then you don't go above the planned second attempt on your third. I'll see some people, they'll miss their opener, they'll retake the opener, be good, but then they'll still jump from their opener to their third. And it's like, first off, that's a really big jump. Second off, we can barely hit depth on this day. It's not happening.
Yeah. Agreed. It's like at that point,
like imagine if you went from
like 429 to 500.
It was 440.
Yeah, 440.
Yeah, imagine if you went from 440 to 500. It's like
I can do it.
I feel like
yeah, like
I feel like you would probably do.
I think I could, close. But I also
it's a big ass.
Yeah, like if I had to. I could do it, but I probably wouldn't recommend it. I would probably
regional.
Yeah, level. Like 45 would probably be.
Yeah, I think you could do 440 to 496.
Yeah,
or around 45 to 496. But it's all it's just a big jump. Like 60 pounds on squat.
Definitely not aiming for 507 though. Yeah, that planned third. But yeah, that's a really good algorithm you got there.
And there's one more that, like, let's say you get your opener. And then you miss your second, and it moves like a chill second. It's not always worth going up. If you're guaranteed to meet PR, it's probably just better to retake it. But if you're feeling strong and you want to go up 5, 10 or so pounds, probably not more than that, it's down to, if you're down to risk it, go ahead and risk it. But if you miss, it's a lot.
Yeah, because you just get back in that same situation where you only got your opener.
Yeah.
So either having that planned safe third, or just having maybe like something in between your second and safe third is probably the best. But yeah, I think that one is a lot more rare. Actually, I haven't gotten into that situation with me or any of my athletes.
It happened with one of my athletes, Tristan, at this meet. I'm pretty sure he listens to the podcast. So here we go, Tristan. Yeah, he hit his opener, and then the second was high, and then he went up 5 more kilos, but it was still high. And yeah. And then but now it's like what would have been an additional if he retook the second, in hindsight, of course, retook the second and got it, it would have been another 10 kilos on the total. But now we're having the same squat as we did the last meet.
Yeah.
His third attempt on his last meet was his opener this meet. But math-wise,
Yeah.
it's
all right.
not the best.
I gotcha. Was would his second have been a PR as well? Or?
Yeah. He was strong enough on the day, but we just need to squat deeper. That's about it. It's not even really what the call is. It's just you just need to squat deeper.
I gotcha.
Yeah, and then there's some other stuff too besides depth, like soft knees. This is a little more rare to get called for, but still worth talking about.
Yeah.
And if you ever find the judge is taking a second to give you the command, just over-exaggerate the knees being locked.
At regionals, they were actually super nice.
Sometimes they'll tell you.
Yeah.
They won't always tell you.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll tell you at national level.
Probably not. I think you just be like,
they're just
squat. It's like, haha, you didn't get it.
Well, they'll make you rack it.
Yeah.
If it's too soft. And then that's like, imagine having to unrack your third and then rack it and then, unrack it again and go for it all within the timer.
Hold it for 30 seconds.
Yeah, you gotta hold it again because they're really looking. So screw that.
Yeah. This is just some word of advice that I have for some people who run into this problem on meet day 2 is just exaggerate the lockout. And then when they give you the squat command, you can just go back and loosen up your knees.
Yeah.
And then follow the same cues. I've seen a lot of people try to go from like that fully extended knee lockout and then squat and they're like, oh, I don't really know how to do it. But then like if you just kind of loosen up again and then follow your cues, it'll be easier.
And part of that is very much executing in the moment, because if you lock your knees out and then you go squat from this fully straight up erect position, then it's, what am I trying to say? Then you screw yourself anyway.
Yeah.
So you didn't execute. You just got the start command, but then you screwed yourself.
Yeah. Because you're not like following your internal
Yeah, this
cues.
is not the same technique we were doing in training.
Okay. So yeah, I think, is this where we want to finish up on squat? Yeah, I was gonna say for that soft knees, it also happens on bench. And I see people do the same thing. Where
With the elbows.
Yeah, fully extended elbow. Like if you're not used to this, wait for the start command and then loosen it and then go.
There's a little bit too of just not being fully upright as you need to be in the rule book, which is a different issue than the knee. Maybe just being insanely like pre-hinged or whatever. That's super rare to see too. But that's more of like, hey, you've probably been squatting like that forever in training. And yeah, we got to fix it on meet day, but it's
that one, I think you're forced into a new position as well.
Yeah, you have to like force yourself.
Yeah, I see that especially a lot when people have an exaggerated low bar. I'm sure you've seen clips where people just like drop the bar because they're just waiting for the person to stand upright, but they can't. So, yeah, it'll be their meet day though. Okay,
awesome.
Moving on to bench. I think this is the one where
we got a long list here.
Yeah, this is where most of the problems are.
Yeah. Squat, it was literally just depth and lock your knees out.
Yeah.
And deadlift, it's also just 2 things. But bench, we got like 8 or 9.
Yeah.
So we'll just go through them one by one if you want to read them out.
Yeah. All right. So the common mistakes would be your feet slipping or like the carpet slippery, a wobbly pause, the pause length. So like the pause might be longer than you're used to, having a long hold. So the ref will just have you hold it out there for a really long time. Your butt coming up off the bench, back cramping, the pad being slippery, and then also up and down.
And then there's also a little bit of fingers not being on the ring, or maybe soft elbows at the start, not getting the right command. Those are really rare to see, but those are also like, that's a little more if it's happening on meet day, that 100% happened during training, and it's a little bit unprepared on the day.
I gotcha. So I guess we can start with your feet slipping. What do you do?
Yeah, the feet slipping, man, that's terrible because I still struggle with that. I struggled with that the past 2 meets. But the way I combat that is I have to not push as hard and I have to balance things out really well.
Yeah, I think your coach actually made a good video on this with Anas, where there's something called passive leg drive and active. And for our setups, we use more of an active leg drive where we're just like driving that foot on the floor as hard as we can. But if the carpet is, slippery, your feet is like just
it's
sliding.
like you literally can't push as hard as you want because you will slip if you push 100%.
Yeah. I think the only other way besides like just not pressing harder is just to maybe change your toe angle a little bit, get a little bit more surface area on your shoe. So when you're pushing, it's not sliding as much. But even at regionals, that wasn't really possible.
So for you at regionals, did you do anything differently?
Yeah,
the carpet was a little slippery.
That was all I did, but then I did the same adjustment you just said where I just used more of like a passive leg drive to stabilize myself. There wasn't really much I could do after that without just completely losing my arch and collapsing.
So we both benched a good amount under like our gym PRs. And with me, it was sort of forcing this arch in my back, but using the feet just to keep everything slightly in check because I couldn't really use my feet to keep my arch up. But then what happened after my second attempt was from forcing that arch with my back, my whole back cramped like crazy. And now I got to figure that out too and try and go up and all that.
Yeah. Same thing actually with me. Yeah, I was like, wait, I can't arch. Like it's like making my back cramp. But luckily, many years ago, before we had these weird bench arches, I just had to,
we're both still strong enough to flat back the second attempt or so. Like I know you went a little more conservative on the third. We both made 2.5 kilo jump from second to third, but I didn't get mine.
That one's like a tough one though, because
it is tough.
It's getting more to like stuff you can adjust, but like it's not ideal because it's more equipment related.
Yeah, there was I did CNATs in 2022, and that had like even more slippery carpet than what we had at regionals, and it was super, super bad. But I don't know how I did it, but I just like executed, and I got my third, and it was a PR. And my coach was like, "Hey, let's do less on your third." And I said, "No, I'm like, bro, I want to get this PR on this meet PR. What you mean we're matching? I don't do that." And I somehow got. I felt strong though. Like it was at least warranted. But holy cow, was that slippery? And I had to chill a lot with my legs, and I had to make it. So like, hey, this bench is still going to be hard, but I need to keep in mind not to push 100% when it starts to get hard, because if I slip, I'm for sure done for.
Yeah.
That's also like against the rules if your feet come up.
Yeah. So, I forgot to mention.
Heels.
Yeah. That and also if you don't already have shoes already, like get Hyper V's.
Oh, you can't. Yeah. They're nerfed. You see that?
I did not.
No,
tariffs. The tariffs did.
Yeah, you can't.
Oh, never mind. You can't get them
from Japan. But Louis in Japan right now. If you want to do an order.
Yeah. You get like 50 shoes.
You could probably figure something out with someone who's in Japan.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize it was. They couldn't really be shipped to America anymore. So that's the thing.
Also, something that helped me was my handler was actually wiping my shoes with a wet paper towel and then just drying it.
I did a little bit of that. Was that Audie?
It was Victor.
Audie did a little bit of that with me, but I felt like it didn't do too much. I cleaned my Hyper-Vs the night before just
okay.
Be safe.
Yeah.
And I heard hand sanitizer helps, but you're not allowed to add outside substances in the rule book. I don't consider water an outside substance, but
no. Like you're not adding in like
I can understand how hand sanitizer.
Like honey or something.
Yeah. I wouldn't. I actually did that at CNATs. I didn't feel like it really helped. It was just like Gatorade.
Oh, okay.
But I didn't feel like it helped.
Yeah. Right.
But it's still like technically against the rule book, so don't go against the
rules.
Go
cheating.
Yeah, don't cheat.
Okay, we'll move on to a wobbly pause.
Yeah, this was more of a me thing. So with this, I had like a little bit of aches and pains pop up on my bench which made me want to tempo it a tiny bit, and then made me want to press the perfect pause. But then it would maybe just be paused on one side, or the bar would only really be touching my left side instead of my right, and that is no fun with referees, because then they're waiting and they're like, hey, is this bar supposed to only touch one side, or should it be touching both sides? Let me wait for this press command and let me go wait and see what happens. But with that, it's a lot easier to avoid that stuff if you're extra confident and you just get it to your chest quickly. And it's less about having the perfect soft touch pause. It's more about having just like a really nice medium touch pause.
Yeah.
So that was the thing with me on meet day. That was the thing with me a little bit in training, and then it showed on meet day.
Yeah. I was just saying, like, I think there's kind of 3 different categories I see this going in. So the first one I talked about, just someone being really nervous. So like they're just forgetting things. But if it's something that's happening in training, I think this problem is more common in people who hover their pausing.
Yeah.
But getting that middle ground is probably what you need to aim for. Or the third thing is, like, your setup on meet day is just slightly different than what you're doing in training, whether it's feet slipping or whatever. Like that could just cause you to, not feel as stable, and overall, like, the entire bench is going to start wobbling. But what you said is what you pretty much have to do, just be more confident.
Yeah, and I was better about it on my third, but just with all the conditions and my second being a little hard, it was just too much to hang.
Yeah, I think the only other thing that I recommend people doing is, like, just thinking about staying tight. Make sure you're squeezing the bar with your pinky and ring finger, and just tensioning it when you bring it down. Sometimes people will just forget those things because
more of a bro bench.
Yeah. Right.
But there's been a lot of people who I've helped or coached where they're trying super hard to get this soft touch, this perfect soft touch, and it's just too hard to do it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, let's just have like a medium touch, nothing too crazy hard, but definitely harder than this soft touch that we're doing. And it's just so much easier, so much less thinking, and easier to execute.
Yeah, exactly. And this is something I know Sean Noriega talked about, because his bench was just being a little bit more inconsistent, so he just had to make a bigger change and doing more of a medium touch.
Was this with his current setup or the Kiss My Arch setup?
I think it was with that one, but I mean, now he's sinking, so he has to.
He used to bench, like one side would be a little higher than the other, so he'd pause on one side, and then he'd get like 5 second
pause command.
Yeah, and
yeah, right. But
530 bench in the gym, and then 460 bench on me day, which is still like insane. But okay, but long pause. This is like what happens to everyone, and I'd say what we sort of listed a little bit before is for some of the min-maxers, some of the ones who are trying to really get the most efficient bench. But the long pause is something that, just a long command, a lot of people are more likely to feel this one. And if you're fine with just getting to the bar to the chest and there's no wobbly pause, just lower the expectations, and don't be afraid to jump only 2.5 kilos from that second to the third.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much the only thing you can really do, because the bench is the only lift, in my opinion, where everything is out of your control in terms of, like,
there's a lot more, like, we're already talking
judging
longer about bench than we were about squat, and we're not even halfway down the list.
Because like, you could get whatever pause in the gym, you can even get someone to give you commands, but like, it's always going to be different.
I had a friend give me a pause press command 1 week out, and my bench was wobbling a bit. He told me press, and then I got it, and with my 1 week out bench, and afterwards he told me, like, oh yeah, I kind of made it a little quick because I didn't want to hoe you. I'm like, no, I was supposed to die, and then I died on meet day.
But yeah, I think long pause, you can only really account for that in training by getting commands, really. Or
legit commands. Usually just ask for like longer commands, and then that's probably whatever you'll get on meet day.
Yeah. All right. What about if someone's just making you hold the bar out there?
This one, a lot of people aren't prepared for. It doesn't happen too often, but it can really hit hard. With me, I just always hold my stuff pretty long in training, and now that one's really a habit, so it doesn't affect me at all. But if you find yourself getting a long hold to where after your opener you thought, wow, that was really hard, I don't know how the rest of this day is going to go, then it might be better to speed the setup up, and we place our butt down quickly, we lock our elbows out quickly, and the head ref can't say start until at least one side judge who's looking at your butt says you're all good to go. So if you're taking forever to place this butt down, you're going to be holding that bar even longer.
Yeah, that, and like another reason why I see someone hold it long is if their foot isn't fully planted flat. So like just being really mindful of your entire setup and making sure everything's like squared away.
Or maybe their feet they're squiggling them around while they're trying to get set up. I used to do that. And the reason I stopped doing that was because my coach told me, hey, you're going to get a really long start command if you keep doing that. So that's a very valid reason, and you probably don't need to be doing all this feet moving around stuff.
Yeah, agreed. Simplifying the setup on bench makes a lot of these problems kind of lessen, I guess. Not really. I don't want to say go away, 'cause sometimes they'll just make you hold it out there just because. And then this next problem, I think, is probably like the second most common problem, if not the first, is their butt coming up. How do people like keep their butt on the bench? What do you got to do?
Yeah, this in the moment is really hard to fix because when someone's butt comes up, it's usually at that top end range, but it's probably been coming up in that top end range during training as well. So if it wasn't fixed in training, it's like, hey, it's going to happen on meet day. So if it does happen on meet day a little bit, or let's say you're getting 2 white lights, 1 red light, and you have one cheek coming up off the bench, my best advice is just force it on the bench. You can't, like, what technique change are you going to make in the moment that's going to fix it? Just like that, force it on the bench. And you might even need to chill a little bit on the leg drive. Yeah,
I was gonna say the only advice I really have is like you gotta force that bitch down.
And you gotta force that bitch down. That's right.
And you gotta make sure you're pressing more horizontally into the floor. Because like if you're pressing down, obviously your butt's gonna come up. But this might be a little bit weird for people if they've never done that.
It's just different.
Yeah. All right, and then back cramping. We talked about this a little bit.
This pops up a bit more, and I don't think it negatively affects people that much, but it's annoying and it can make things worse. So if your back is cramping on bench, you're probably hydrated enough in the moment, but now this arch is very forced into, or you just as an athlete are very forced into a certain position, forced into this arch. And maybe it's just because the bench pad is too good, and now you're arching a little more than normal, and it's feeling good, but it's harder to hang, or your feet are slipping and you have to force the arch just to get something up. So with this, you might actually just need to chill out a little bit with your setup in order to not have that happen.
Yeah, I was gonna say this was happening to both of us just because like the way that we set up, we weren't able to.
Similar.
And then another thing or reason why this might be happening is if your hips are actually tight because your lats will run down into your hips after squatting. So like if you just stretch out your hips and rehydrate during that period of time between bench and squat, you'll probably notice like this will probably start subsiding or even between your bench attempts. It helps me, and I know it helps like a couple other people, but that one I think is a little bit more difficult because it could be so many things. All right, so what about a slippery pad? How do you fix the pad? You just tell them to like, hey, I want this. I want my rogue bench. Can we switch it?
And put some shelf liner on the pad right before. But with this one, you can chalk your neck some more. You can chalk your upper shirt area, like upper back area, and just be a little extra conscious of this neck pressure. So now we're not slipping on the pad.
Yeah, agreed. And then another thing is just ask them to just quickly wipe the bench if it's just caked with chalk, just so you can get that friction again. But other than that, right, like I think it's just going to come down more to your setup on the neck pressure and then chalking things correctly. And then we talked about this too, up, down.
Yeah.
Is there anything you can really do?
No.
Yeah, okay.
It's just being more competent with heavy weights.
Yeah, right. Like that, I don't know. It's unfortunate when someone gets an up down call. Just
but it's also usually on the third.
It is.
And it's like, well, after the third, it's not like you're getting a fourth attempt.
Yeah.
So there you can't fix it. But if you miss, or if you have some issue on your open or second, it's like, hey, there's a possible fix in the moment that we can do. But with up down, I don't know if it's happening.
Yeah.
If there's up down on the second attempt, then probably just retake it.
Yeah.
and lock in some more and expect it to be really hard.
Yeah, because if it's up down, I imagine it's like pretty hard. It's really rare someone has up down and it's easy. So yeah, that's why it happens on the third anyway. Okay, moving on to deadlifts and the common execution issues. I think the two most common ones is just dropping it and then up and down.
Yeah, or hitching.
Yeah, up, down, hitching.
Those are different on deadlifts because usually those are a technique issue rather than like squat and bench, things getting very difficult in the moment.
Yeah, so I guess we can go over if someone drops the deadlift. I guess this is most commonly from a grip issue or maybe like a wedging and tensioning issue. So if someone just has grip issues, like, is there anything they can really do?
If they had grip issues in training, there isn't much of a fix in the moment. And if you push too hard with this attempt selection, then the grip issues will start to show.
Yeah, right.
And they'll probably show anyway on the third, even if you go conservative.
Yeah, I think this one's a little bit difficult. Like,
But there's a lot of different reasons why people have grip issues. There's technique, they just have a weaker grip, or things were just too heavy and they just couldn't hold it.
Yeah.
Or maybe the chalk they used is bad, or maybe they didn't apply enough chalk. There's a lot of reasons why this deadlift has been dropped.
Yeah, I think you just mentioned it. The first and foremost thing you should do really is just like double apply chalk and then get the person to like clean the bar.
Yeah.
So yeah, like a lot of people will layer their chalk, so they use liquid chalk and then regular chalk on top of it, and make sure you have your own chalk. I know a lot of people recommend climbing chalk. Like the unicorn chalk is probably
there's a lot of good chalk brands out there, and I really like just having my own chalk in training, just because it feels very consistent. Like I know I'll have good chalk, and I know even if I were to go to a different gym and deadlift at a different gym, I'm gonna have the same chalk. I'm not gonna be using different chalk at gym A and different chalk at gym B. But I think as someone gets a little stronger, like if they're approaching 450 dots or something, they should 100% bring their own chalk to regionals or to whatever meet they're doing, because I can't imagine not doing that. I know a lot of people don't do that.
Yeah, right. And to kind of bring it into this sphere, starting with like the easiest, not really the easiest, but like if you actually have grip problems, I think there's only like a couple things, you can really do is like just grip harder and like also place it deeper in the hand. But as you mentioned, like if you had grip issues in training, it's a really tall task to try to fix it in the moment. So
yeah, like sometimes with grip issues too, it's just the person can't hold on to the bar in training, and then it's like, hey, I don't know if we're holding on to this bar in meet day. Or maybe they'll have like some weird twist with their deadlift, and then one hand starts to unravel and things will drop, and that's just a lot more likely to show on the third attempt, and the first and second will probably be fine.
Yeah, and then moving on to more like technique issues, and this lines up with if someone's more nervous on meet day, they might like rush their wedge, or they might not pull as much slack out. And what I'll notice is like if they already have a low setup in their hand, like it'll just slide down a little bit more because they didn't get as much tension as they could have, and then that's when it starts slipping out. Or again, we mentioned this too, where if the weight is just so much heavier than what someone was doing in training, it's just going to be harder to get that slack out and then maintain that grip.
So we have another algorithm for this drop deadlift. So if you drop your first, and if you're new to powerlifting, retake it. But if you've done like 4 to 5 or more meets and you feel strong, you'll probably go up even after you dropped your first if you just feel like it was a fluke.
Yeah.
But then you're probably going to chill on your third.
Yeah.
Because it's, hey, if we drop this opener, there's a very good chance we're going to drop our full send third.
Yeah. And I think at this point too, you almost have to be a little bit more, like you have to be okay with being more conservative, because missing any more on your deadlift, that's probably looking like 20 kilos off your total. So, yeah. And what if you drop your second?
If you drop your second, then maybe you can go up a tiny bit, but it's never really worth the full send, because if you miss, then you're totally screwed.
Yeah. Prime example.
No, don't worry. That wasn't targeted towards you. It was targeted towards someone else.
Yeah, right. But like mine was like, I knew this was like not, I know this algorithm exists.
Yours wasn't like a grip issue though.
Yeah, exactly. Like that was more like do or die. So
now you can go into having up and down on deadlift or hitching.
Yeah.
And I was watching regionals, a bit of the stream after I competed. So that's when all the super heavyweights were going. And then there was a lot more of this. Because this isn't really too much of a thing in our world, or being under 200 pounds, even being under like 220.
Yeah, I'm only like 5'6" as well. Like,
so it's not as common of a thing, but then when you get to someone who's maybe weighing 300 pounds, things are more likely to pop up.
Yeah, right. Like especially if you're a really tall lifter as well, and you have shorter arms, like deadlift's a challenge for you. But yeah, this one is definitely a little bit more difficult. Like I do have a couple athletes who are bigger, like, you know, above 6 foot and in like the 120s. But like I notice a lot of these problems will usually happen because of like mid-foot pressure. Like you might just be a little bit too heel dominant as you wedge in. So like you really have to really focus on staying on that midfoot. And like that's almost like the only thing you really need to be like focusing on. And then also just, you know, calming down, make sure you wedge in properly, because the same thing happens if you're just not pulling enough slack. That's usually when you'll start having problems with lockout as well.
They might be too rounded as well, and then the off the ground is easy, but the lockout itself gets very difficult, and then they're just really trying to brute force it the rest of the way up, and now there's some up and down, and now there's some hitching.
Yeah, I think that one's also difficult because it kind of stems from a technical issue. Like if you're losing balance too, and the up down or the hitching happens, like there's not really much you can adjust in the moment on that. Like
there isn't. I'd say the best bet is just chill out a little bit, calm down, and then not go for the full send.
Yeah, agreed.
If you go for the full send, it'll show up.
Yeah.
Right. There was this one athlete I handled a while back, and his opener was good, but then the second got called for a little bit up down, and then we just retook the second, and it was something he's hit before that shouldn't have been like too crazy. So it was like, hey, just make sure we stay really focused this whole way through, and don't do any of those shenanigans.
I got you.
But if we missed the second and then we went up higher, even if we got it, it still would have showed. Just because, hey, it's already showing on the second attempt. The referee's already caught it.
Yeah. Nah, that's It's a tough spot to be in. I guess this will transition into something I just wanted to ask, which is like, what do you think about up down in general across all three lifts? Like, do you think it's a stupid rule, or are you kind of like, well, you understand where they're coming from?
I've thought about that a lot, and at first I didn't really understand it, but then I now see it as, let's say there is some up down on the squat and we eliminate that rule. What happens if a spotter sees the downward motion and then decides to catch it? Is the athlete upset that they didn't have the chance to grind it out?
Yeah.
Do they go to the jury? Do they complain on social media? Right, and then the same thing on bench. The spotters see that there's downward motion and maybe one assumes they're failing it, so they grab it immediately, but then the athlete says, oh, I was still able to push through. I think that's a big part of why we have that rule.
Yeah, that's a very smart observation, because whenever I'm spotting loading two, and I already have the sense like this person might fail this weight, I'm almost waiting for that moment that the bar goes down.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the moment the bar goes down, and I'll take it whenever the bar goes down.
Yeah.
But if the spotters now decide to just let it go down and try and see if they can fight through this up and down, then it might even take longer for them to save the athlete.
Yeah, and that becomes a really big safety issue concern.
Yeah, things get really messy if that rule is taken out, so it should be a thing.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's an interesting perspective.
That's how I see it.
Yeah, I agree, because I think
because at first I didn't really understand it. Yeah.
like
'Cause everyone says like, oh, that shouldn't be a thing.
Right.
But then what happens in a world where we take that rule out? Now maybe more people are, maybe they're just under this failed attempt for like 2 seconds longer and something tweaks.
Yeah, agreed.
Or maybe one spotter takes it as there's downward motion, but the other spotter thinks that hey, they're going to fight through it.
And then it just tips over.
It tips over and it's a mess. It's a very messy world without this rule.
Yeah, right. But I guess that also can go into different things too, because, you know, like the main argument is like, oh, you know, it's harder to get a lift when there's up down, but
maybe we should talk about soft lockout too. That's the thing.
yeah. Oh yeah, soft lockout for
that kind of ties in with the up and down, the hitching, the more so like, hey, if we're having soft lockout on meet day, it was probably happening in the gym.
Yeah.
Or maybe we just didn't go heavy enough to see it. But that's if you get soft lockout on your second, I guess you just either retake or chill out or go up a smaller jump.
Yeah.
And go for it again.
I was gonna say, I think for
like heavily exaggerate it.
I've only had that happen on the first attempt, but like it wasn't really a problem in training. I think they just weren't really aware. But we still went up anyway.
Did they get like red lighted?
Yeah, they did. Okay, but then like it was fine. Like they were able to get their second and third. So yeah, like that will usually stem from training issue, or like you just hit a load where you just didn't run into that problem as well. So yeah, I guess did that cover everything for all three lifts? Like you think that's
that's pretty much all of the main reasons something pops up.
Yeah. All right.
But now let's talk about our meets.
Okay.
I thought this would be a little fun to talk about.
Yeah.
So we just went through open powerlifting and looked at our past attempts. But I've gone 7 for 9 or above at every meet, and I've averaged 7.8 out of 9 attempts over 10 meets. No big deal. Right. But it definitely wasn't luck. It was more so skill, or just being like, hey, let me go conservative so I don't miss.
Yeah.
It was a mix of that. And it's been super common for me to have one miss on execution and one miss on strength. So I'm just going to kind of talk about my past meets for a real world example. So I've had 2 missed squats over 10 meets, no big deal. And I missed one on strength. And I remember that one. It was a third attempt, and it was just flat out too heavy. I didn't have it. And then I missed one on execution, and at that meet I missed my opener on depth, but I was trying to hit the junior nats QT, so I went up anyway, and then I sank it. And then after that, I the original plan was to go up 10 for my planned third, but I went up 7.5 instead because I knew like, hey, this is gonna be harder and I really shouldn't miss the squat. And then I sank it and it was really hard, but I still got it. It was like a very similar situation we had at regionals. And then I've had 5 missed benches over 10 meets. So 1 purely on strength and then 4 on execution/strength. So I had 1 meet where I hit this really hard third bench. I grinded it out and it had up and down just because it was like insanely hard. And I was benching, it doesn't even matter what I was benching, but it was my third meet. And the point is, as I've continued to do more meets, as I've continued to get better technique and all this, that up and down doesn't really happen anymore. Like I haven't had any up and down issue like ever since then.
Yeah. I think mine is pretty similar. I think to yours, I'm just looking at your numbers here. Yeah, I would say like it follows the same trend where very little of it had to do with like missing a squat. So I average, it looks like 7.11 out of 9.
Yeah.
I guess that's all right. But I mean, I got drug tested.
Still pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I got drug tested 5 times.
Drug tested 5 times. You've been drug tested at over half of your meets.
Yeah,
How do you do? I've only been drug tested once, and I was like 350 dots at the time.
They don't think I'm natty. They think I'm him.
Oh my god.
But to be honest, like it's the same thing. Like, so the first meet I did, I went 8 for 9. Missed my first bench from execution.
What was that? Is it just like commands?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh, sorry. It was a strength. Strength for the that one is just too heavy.
I thought you said you missed out on execution.
Oh yeah, no, I misspoke there. First meet was just strength on the third bench.
Okay.
But then the second meet I did was like my worst meet I ever did.
I saw it.
Yeah, it was like, I think it was like 5 for 9 or something.
Yeah.
And everything was execution.
That brought your average down a lot.
Yeah, it did. So
you'd probably be at 7.8.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for that.
No, that meet was.
What happened?
I always remember that.
What happened that meet?
So this was back when I was with my ex, right? So she made me late, and I had to recomp, and like I only had like 30 minutes to recomp. Well, that wasn't the reason why I was like having a bad meet. That was just external. So I was just not on the good right foot there. But then,
well, good thing you had McDonald's recomp.
I did, yeah. So y'all don't know this, but McDonald's is my go-to like recomp meal, and I know it's bad too. Because, like, everyone says like don't eat fats, like during a recomp.
Tell Marcellus that.
Yeah, no, he probably hate me. I'll send him this clip. But then the squat. This is like the first time where I was like, hey, I really need to like lock in because I missed my first attempt from depth.
It's not a fun feeling.
Yeah, second attempt, I was like, okay, I got it. And then the third attempt, I smoked it, but I missed it from depth.
Okay.
And
did
then,
you go more conservative on the third?
I did,
okay.
Yeah.
But it is hard just to like, you got to remember like to sink it. And even when it feels like it's synced, it's like you got to go all the way just to be safe. Because if you're sinking it a little bit more, and if you're squatting an inch high and you sink it, but you only go like half an inch deeper, it feels deeper, but it's not enough. And you really just got to go all the way ass to grass.
Yeah. So after that whole experience, I was like, okay, I'm never going to like miss a squat from depth. Fast forward to like my 9th meet I did. But like the bench, it was a lot of just execution as well. So like my butt came up. Which like it was pretty much what you said in training. Like I just didn't notice because I never went that heavy in training until like meet day came and then my butt came up. And then deadlift, that's the one, like the second one where I missed the most. But on that meet I did fine. I went 3 for 3 on deads. But overall, like from that experience and then onward, I realized like bench is the one that's just always going to be the hardest. Deadlift is going to be really determined on your squat. Like if you miss your third squat and your back's fried, like you'll probably miss your third dead if you're not playing it smart. So I think across the board, I think I missed 3 from squat. And then I think the same as you, like 8 or so or something on bench and then like 5 on deadlift. But yeah, like it was, I think the big takeaway, I think if anyone's listening, it really is just focus on your execution on the bench on meet day. Like, don't get so married to a certain number.
Squat deep, go deep on squat.
Yeah.
Fix all the execution stuff on bench, and then just deadlift. And then bam, you fix like 80% of it, or 90% of it, just like that.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, and then for my deadlifts, I miss. It's a little harder because I've had a few meets where I've been trying to qualify for some qualifying total. So I had like one that was for sure just strength, and then there was 2 on executions, balance, whatever that is, and then 2 more on it being super top end for a qualifying total, almost there, but it was a mix of just like, it was a little too much strength wise, and then execution, maybe I dropped it or maybe I just fell forward.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's kind of where my problems were too. Like the barrier to like not executing properly was more so related to the goals that I had for the meet, whether it was like qualifying for something or just like aiming for numbers that I probably shouldn't have just from experience. But yeah, I think that covers how to execute well on meet day. So anything else you wanted to add?
That's pretty much all the in-depth stuff. And with all of these fixes in the moment are just over-exaggerating the fix and going slightly more conservative. It's super simple. It's not so much anything more than that.
Yeah.
But you can over-exaggerate the fix, and then if you still go for the planned reach third, it's just too much on the day because we're trying to fix these things and we're trying to max out.
Yeah, so I guess now that we're kind of ending this whole conversation, I'm sure like a lot of people understand where we're coming from, but like, do you have anything to say to those athletes who are really like, well, I just really want to like hit these numbers and like, I don't care if I fail or not. Like, do you think they'll last in powerlifting, or do you think it'll just like...
I think what happens is it eventually comes to a point where things get harder, progress slows down a bit, or there's more ups and downs, and it's straight up, hey, if you miss all your third attempts at this meet, you're going negative on this meet total, this PR total. It's not happening.
Yeah. I just wanted to bring that up because like I do know a lot of people who've competed like almost as long as we have, if not the same amount of time.
But they don't have that mindset that you were saying.
Right? Right. Like, well, some of them just haven't gone 9 for 9, but
I think I've only gone 9 for 9 like once or twice.
Yeah,
out of 10
same
days,
with me.
which is it's very rare to see. And then, but it also shows you like you'll hear people say like, oh, I really want a full send for these numbers, but then they'll also say, I just want a 9 for 9 meet. But both of those are very difficult to actually accomplish. Did anyone we know go 9 for 9? Solomon. Oh no, he went 8 for 9.
Oh, he did go 8 for 9.
Yeah, no. Did it? Yeah, anyone?
Yeah.
From our gym?
Azul, she go 8 for 9. Like Moni.
She missed her last deadlift.
Ethan didn't.
No, he had execution stuff.
I don't think anyone my session went 9 for 9.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't.
Yeah.
See, we know like 10, 20 people who did this meet that we just did, and no one went 9 for 9. And that's how it is.
Yeah. Did he get drug tested? Didn't think so.
Bro, I don't know when I'm gonna get drug tested next. I went drug tested at one meet, and I was way not as strong as I am now.
But all right, that concludes the Cool Lifting podcast. Tune in to next episode. You can follow us on Instagram.
We're going to start getting guests on here.
Yeah.
We got all the technology sorted out so you could hear us all clearly.
Yeah.
And we're going to send out some invites. So, let us know who you want on the podcast.
Yeah, and make sure to rate this podcast 5 stars.
Yes. Do all of the things we listed.
Yeah. That was really out of order, but all right.
Well, awesome. Thank you for listening.